I'm not dead. That sounds like something interesting. Hi, I'm Rick Dancer. You know, when you go to a skate park like the one here in Eugene, the new one, and you see all these 16-year-olds out skating, I feel every bit of my 55 years. Today is my birthday. And we're doing a show tonight with a bunch of stories that we've done in the past that I really, really like. These are stories where they really meant something to me. And so I want to start with an interview we did with a man named Billy. And what he did to help some homeless people is amazing. I've had people walk up to me on the streets and say, I remember the story about Billy. So now watch and you'll remember. So you must be Billy.
Yeah.
Hey, Billy.
How you doing?
No, thanks for meeting me. I appreciate it. So tell me what happened when you met these people. It was right here, right?
Yeah, I was right over here on the other side of the bushes here. I was sitting on a table, and they were out here just laying in the grass sleeping. And when they woke up, they came over and asked me if I knew where to find any blankets or anything, because they were cold and all their stuff got stolen. And at that time, I didn't know of any place that was open. So I thought, well, I got some sleeping bags at home in the shed that just sitting there. So I went and got some food, some sandwiches and some chips and some drinks, and I brought it back to them.
Why'd you do that?
It's kindness of my heart. I just felt sorry for them. I don't have a lot myself, but what I do have, I don't mind giving it if I have it.
Now why? That's not real normal in our culture, Billy.
Right. Well, it's just the right thing to do. You know, it's not about me. I got a nice warm house to go home to, and they don't, so I didn't need it. I gave it to them.
But it didn't stop there. So then you got this idea with the church that you work for.
Yeah. I got together with my church, the Enlighten Christian Center, and talked to Bill Randall, and through November to December, we did a drive. We collected 45 sleeping bags, and we took it downtown to First Christian Center, and we donated it to them, and just in the nick of time, too. 45 sleeping bags? Yeah.
Sleeping bags aren't cheap.
No.
So how do more people get to be like what you're like? It seems like we all want to collect and gather more and more and more. And here you're a guy, and you say you're of simple means, so you don't have a ton of stuff in your life, and you just don't care?
No, I don't care. I mean, if I have it and I'm not using it at the time, they could use it. Why not? Just give it to them.
So where does that come from?
Probably just uprising. I mean, I was brought up in a family that had, that didn't have a lot. And so I guess if you don't have a lot, you don't mind sharing it because you're used not to having a lot.
Would you describe your life as tough?
Yeah, my life's been tough, but, we share. It's just the way we are. It's the way we were brought up.
So what's tough? Explain what tough is to me, could you?
Live paycheck to paycheck, don't always have food in the house, going to food boxes, getting food out, from the food places and stuff like that.
And that's how you live?
Right.
That's normal for you?
That's normal.
It kind of blows me away a little bit, if I'm honest with you, because I think, how do you do that? I think that's amazing. That's why we're talking to you.
Right.
You inspire me.
Thank you.
I'm looking for what Christmas really is supposed to look like, and I think it's supposed to look like you.
If you're not going to use it, why let it sit and not be used?
That's kind of what the original Christmas was all about, wasn't it?
Yes.
Hope.
And giving. It's not about receiving, it's about giving.
And you really believe that?
Yes.
And you live it?
Sure do.
I like you, Billy.
I like you too.
Yeah, I like your spirit. I think that's pretty cool. Thanks.
Yep.
I like that guy.
Proper installation of your auto glass is vital to your safety.
The glass is part of the structure of the vehicle. If it's not installed properly, you have all kinds of issues. The main thing is the structure of the vehicle. So if the window pops in case of a rollover, you have the roof will collapse. Glass is installed properly, the glass will break, but it will stay in position and hold the whole structure of the vehicle.
A1 Auto Glass, where doing the right thing still matters.
It's like going back in time. I mean, this is like the lower 48 was 100 years ago.
It's nature in its simple form. You know, it's not the TV form.
You know there's nobody for miles. I mean, literally miles and miles. You're not going to see another soul.
This is what we get to do out here. We get to show people wild Alaska, or just nature, I guess, in its truest sense.
Because I think Alaska, for a lot of people, is a bucket list. It's one of those once-in-a-lifetime trips. I think it's something that words can't really express. It's beyond pictures, it's beyond words, it's beyond anything really tangible.
Welcome to Alaska, a place where you don't manufacture remote. Remote is everywhere you look. There are 29 volcanoes in Alaska, and one of the most active sits right behind the Redoubt Mountain Lodge. We're going to introduce you to this hidden jewel. One of the coolest things about this place is there's only one way in and there's only one way out. A couple of years ago, we did a story for the Angel Hair Foundation. They provide hair systems for people who have had cancer. And we met these two girls, and every time I go back and look at the story, it just grabs me again. So I want to pick this one as one of the stories we're going to watch tonight. Take a look.
All right, so let's see. Let's try. See how that works.
Will you take a picture of it?
I really like that picture. Do you always cut your hair?
Yeah.
Why does that make you cry?
Because this is my actual hair before it fell out. It's like the exact same color and everything. My name's Brandy Marie Starmer.
Correct. Do it again.
I'm 16 years old, and I had medulloblastoma, and it's basically a brain tumor. It's not the nicest thing. It's ripped me to shreds. I can't be home. I can't do half the things I used to be able to. When I first heard the words, I didn't know what to think. I thought, oh no, I thought I was gonna die. I don't know who invented it or where it came from, but they didn't need to do it. The angel hair really helped. I felt like myself again. I felt like I did last year or the year before that when I had my long hair. I felt like it grew back.
I like my hair like this.
You do?
Mm-hmm. My name is Elsa Brandt, and I'm 6 years old, and I had a tumor on my kidney.
She's amazing. The doctor came in and said, there's a very large mass on her kidney. Something that meant so much to her, that was the hardest. She didn't understand that. She didn't understand why. She kept saying, but the tumor's not in my hair, the tumor's not in my head.
I thought they would make fun of me because I didn't have any hair.
How does that make you feel?
Sad. I was afraid I might die.
She said, I'm ugly, I have bald spots. People point, people stare. So that was hard. That was heartbreaking. Ellison having hair, again, having her hair system, it kind of just rejuvenated her fighting spirit. All of her confidence was back, and she was ready to face the rest of her treatment and surgeries, and she did. The day that she got her hair system, we hadn't seen her that happy in months. She was laughing and giggling and kept flipping her hair.
I'm happy that I have hair and friends.
What I'd say to Debbie Wright is thank you so much for letting me have the capability of having my hair back, and thank you for giving it to me.
In some cases, I think it would definitely give the kid the will to continue to fight, and to fight while still being beautiful.
Wasn't that fun? Yes.
June is Men's Health Awareness Month. Did you know that 1 in 6 men will find out they have prostate cancer in their lifetime? The best way to protect yourself is a checkup. In 2010, I found out I had prostate cancer. Now I'm doing some work with the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute, producing videos to get the word out so guys like you understand you need to get a checkup.
When the phone rings and your doctor informs you you have cancer, life forever changes. I work in the television video production industry. I do online videos and decided, after a lot of thinking, to make my cancer very public.
So here's the thing. I have cancer, prostate cancer. And I'm just shocked, just kind of stunned and numb and scared and afraid.
My diagnosis came in January of 2010.
I didn't want to die, but I also, to be honest, I didn't want to lose my ability to have an erection. I mean, that's a big concern for a guy. I'm not afraid this is going to kill me. Prostate cancer is really treatable. I'm afraid of the process. I just don't want to do it. I don't want to live with cancer.
In my late 40s, my PSA jumped. At first, the PSA was 2, then 4, and that's when the biopsies began. It took 5 years and 5 biopsies to find cancer. My PSA was hovering at 20 when the cancer was discovered.
That was the horrible process. We felt so alone while we were looking for a treatment. And I remember we'd go to doctor appointment after doctor appointment, and every time we'd come out, we just sit there and cry all the way home.
The internet was even worse. The most talked about treatments always came with a host of possible side effects. Your temptation is to move quickly. You hear cancer and just want to get it out of your body. I resisted the temptation and took several months finding the treatment that was right for me, and I'm so glad I did. I wish in those early days we'd had a team of specialists like those at the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute to talk with us about all the options, not just the usual treatments.
So you can't rely on friends and relatives or other men in your life who've had prostate cancer and do what they did. You really have to go through this process yourself and figure out what's the best treatment for you, or whether you really want to get treated at all at this point.
Cancer did change my life, but not in the ways I thought it would. We chose a treatment that worked for us. Yes, this is not just your decision. Your wife needs to be part of that process. I think attitude is a huge part of cancer treatment, survival, and moving on. I didn't have to fight cancer, I had to fight Rick Dancer, me. Surviving cancer did have lasting effects on our lives. We discovered how much stronger we are and how short time really is when you think about it. We now do triathlons, our first half marathon. We cycle Oregon and try things we never dreamed of trying before. I'm not trying to glamorize cancer, there is nothing beautiful about it. But cancer let me stare death in the face and then walk away. There is something powerful in the gift of survival.
Guys, the best advice I can give after going through this process is don't rush into anything. First of all, determine whether you need to be treated with your different doctors that you're going to go visit. If you do decide on treatment, look at the side effects and make sure you're comfortable with what's going to happen or what could happen. And then remember, you will get through this.
Life is good now. My PSA is down to 0 for the first time in a decade. My side effects from the treatment are minimal. I look back at this video and remember that day like it was yesterday.
That's kind of where we're at. So keep praying, and I thank you. It'll get better. It'll get better. It'll get better.
I was right. It is getting much better. It's not the alarm that gets you out on the trail every day. It's your heart, whispering, get out of bed, this is your day. Your legs are tired. Your body begs you not to do it. But going back is not an option. This race is against your toughest opponent. This race is against you. You give it your all and will be back tomorrow to do it all over again. And when you finish, because you're never really done, only one thing can restore what was taken and what you gave. Lockmead reduced fat or non-fat chocolate milk. Recovery doesn't get any better than this.
So Kathy and I spend what, $50 a month going to a gym so we can sit in the gym and climb on a Stairmaster to get a workout. Wow. So right over there, there's a bunch of lightning strikes. Listen to that. We've been running 2.5 miles down that hill because our car's parked. And we, oh, shit. And I don't want to get hit with a bolt of lightning. And today in the soapbox, we haven't done one of these for a while. I guess I haven't been as irritated as usual, but I've got something to talk about. I'm growing intolerant of intolerance. I find it on the left, I find it on the right, I find it right down the middle. In pop culture, in regular culture, I even find it in my faith, and of course we find it in politics. If I have an opinion that doesn't quite line up with a certain group of people or popular opinion, then all of a sudden I'm labeled as intolerant. Now wait a second. The fact that you would label me intolerant would almost make you intolerant of other opinions. What happened to the Oregon where we like divergent opinions, where we like people who think differently, where they didn't have to always agree with us for us to elect them or respect them? Instead, now we make them out to be the villain, and we try to destroy them because they think differently than we do. I think that might be the definition of intolerance. I want to introduce you to two people now who've really touched my life. One, the first, is a little boy who is like an 80-year-old man stuck in a 13-year-old's body. We met him at a local middle school. We were doing an assembly. And I want you to listen to what he has to say because he is amazing.
Disability is the word I hate, absolutely hate, because it implies that something is wrong with you when nothing is wrong. I think it should be struck from the dictionary. A gifted, differently abled, adaptable. Oh yes, it applies to all people of all ethnic backgrounds, of all races, and of all genders. What gets under my skin is when people come up to me, and I'm quoting here, and say, "What's your problem? What's wrong with you?" And I say, "I don't have one. I don't." It just irritates the daylights out of me. It does when someone walks up to me and treats me like a baby. I am a living, breathing organism. I relish the opportunity to get my 2 cents in, and I think people need to hear what people like me and Nick and the rest of my school heard today.
You don't use that word ever. Because people with developmental disabilities. The second man is Adam Marshall. He's a young man I met a couple of years ago on Facebook. We met for lunch and he changed my life. I did this story before I had any crew working with me. It was just me and a video camera. And I really want you to meet Adam Marshall. Adam died a few years ago, but his legacy lives on and his words, they're profound.
Hi, I'm Adam Marshall and I'm 24 years old. I have Duchenne's muscular dystrophy. I was born with it. It's a genetic disorder. Oh, toileting, transferring, any lifting, preparing my meals, cutting up my steaks, my hamburger, whatever. The whole shebang. Things that physically normal people could do easily, I have to have help with. I get people who just, they look at the machine more than the person, and they already start making their judgments. And I would have to say Jesus Christ. Without him, I couldn't do this. I couldn't cope with everything that's going on around me without him. To me, there's almost a point where I have more mobility now that I believe what I believe now, and I'm not afraid. I feel like that's something that has unchained me from my prison. Throwing away society's chains that are on me, throwing those away. Once you take those off, you can just live your life however you want it to, however you want to live it, and it just feels like nothing could stop you. You're just.
So can you tell me what the chains look like? Like when you say society's chains, what does that look like to you? What do you mean?
It's people's first impressions of me. Somebody they might look upon as, and I've gotten this a lot too, as somebody with a mental disability, even though they have an apparent physical disability. That's something that is one of those chains that, you just, as somebody who's disabled, you gotta just throw it away.
How do you keep the chair from defining you?
By reaching out to people and showing them on purpose that I'm more than just what I look like. I'm happy with who I am. The people would think, "Oh, don't you wish you could walk?" No, it's because it's what I've been given, and I like the person that I am, and I love being funny, and I love being able to reach people on a different level than I could if I was physically normal. Security is just being happy with the way things are, your surroundings, and not being afraid, and having that around you to not be afraid. And for me, it's been God for quite some time now, and when you have somebody that great looking over you, then who needs anybody else?
Hard to play out here. The Jesco rents the hall for NA and AA meetings, all 12-step stuff, and it's a fellowship.
So you're a heroin addict?
Yes, ex-heroin addict and a crackhead.
And how long have you been off?
I'll tell you, 5 years and 8 months.
So
5 years and 9 months.
What is Christmas to you?
Well, I'll tell you what, Rick. I hated the holidays until I got clean. Christmas was sad for me because I didn't want to be alone. And since I've been clean, and I'm not bullshitting it, I've had great Christmas means to me being with all these folks, and it's good stuff.
So why do you get teary when you talk about that?
I don't know why. Just cause it's a happy thing for me. Because I was looking for stuff like that. People have become friends here.
And you're all getting clean.
Yes.
Do you think people would be amazed what goes on in this building?
Would they?
Here in the heart of the Wit is this little place that just is.
I think they would. Sometimes I'm amazed. I'm really so thankful to be here.
So isn't that what Christmas is really about?
Yeah, you're making me cry.
Because it's good, isn't it?
Yes, it's a great thing. Yeah.
So do you think too many people, maybe we live our lives too much on our own?
Yes.
Together. It's okay to depend on other people?
Totally. Yeah, that's this whole secret. Don't be in isolation.
That's what you didn't understand, huh?
That's what we do in
I understood it, but I didn't know how to do it. That's the difference.
And now you do.
And now I do.
Okay.
Just be honest.
Merry Christmas.
It was great to meet you.
Yeah, it's Merry Christmas. For
All right.
talk to you.
Yeah,
really
it was fun.
Now tonight we want to leave with this. Over the years, I think I've interviewed thousands and thousands of people, and a lot of them have touched me in very personal ways, but none as much as this man you're about to meet. He changed the way I think about so many things. We went back and we found Jimmy Reynolds. Take a look. A few years ago, while interviewing a man named Jimmy Reynolds, my view of life, God, and other people was changed by one thought. Jimmy has elephantiasis. I asked him, what do you see when you look in the mirror? Jimmy said something that rocked my world.
I was made in God's image, so therefore I was look like God.
Yes, Jimmy said he was created in the image of God, therefore God must look like him. I was floored. What if Jimmy is right? What if God doesn't look like all the paintings or the Hollywood stars or even George Burns, for goodness sake? What if God looks more like Jimmy Reynolds? You have to admit, that changes everything.
Imagine that.
It really does make you wonder. I love that guy. Well, until next week, keep those good ideas percolating. So if you're in the market for a video, Rick Dancer Media Services, we create long format videos, shorter videos, YouTube videos, website videos. What we specialize in is telling your story, and we do it with heart, we do it with passion. Sometimes we do it and make it just a little wacky. It's whatever you want. But give us a call to find out more about our services and what we offer. My phone number is right here on the screen, 541-232-3143, or go to rickdancer.com or Rick Dancer TV.